Thousands of years ago, there lived in Ireland a people descended from the goddess Dana. Beautiful and honourable, they were highly skilled in all arts, including the art of war. However, no one, not even King Nuada himself, was strong enough to withstand the evil Fomorian raiders from the lands across the sea. The king of Fomorians was Barlaw of the Evil Eye. For one eye was all he had, but whoever he turned it upon was instantly struck down dead. Feared throughout the land, the Fomorians were evil giants who wreaked havoc upon the people of Ireland. The formidable Barlaw concealed the power of his evil eye with a gigantic brass eye patch. When he wished doom upon his enemies, 4 men heaved ropes and pulleys to hoist the mighty eye shield open, and woe betide anyone who happened to be within line of sight. King Nuada and his people had no choice but to give in to the demands of Barlaw and the Fomorians. Attacks on every stone for grinding wheat, attacks on every kneading trough for mixing dough, attacks on every oven used to bake bread, and a tax of 1 ounce of gold for every man in Ireland. Yet still the Fomorians often descended upon the countryside, plundering and pillaging whatever they wanted. The people of Dana were in despair, with absolutely no hope left, until one day when a stranger came knocking at the high gates of King Nuada's fortress. With a divine quality about him, the stranger's face shone like the sun. "Who are you?" demanded the gatekeeper warily. "What do you want here?" "I am Lugh, a mighty warrior," the stranger said. "The mightiest warriors of Ireland are here," the gatekeeper replied. "I am a fine blacksmith and carpenter," Lugh declared. "The finest blacksmiths and carpenters of Ireland are here," the gatekeeper sneered. "I am a skilled poet and musician," Lugh said, undeterred. "The most skilled poets and musicians of Ireland are here," the gatekeeper boasted. "I am a powerful healer and magician," Lugh continued. "The most powerful healers and magicians of Ireland are here," the gatekeeper insisted. "If your people are master of all these arts," Lugh countered, "they will not fear to pit themselves against me." At this bold challenge, the gatekeeper hurried to King Nuada. The king was intrigued. "We will put this stranger to the test. Let him in," he decided. Lugh was finally allowed inside, but not beyond the outer courtyard. Firstly, he had to play a game of fidchel, which is rather like chess. Lugh beat every opponent in fewer moves than anyone had ever seen before. Then he had to compete against a strongman called Ogma in lifting and throwing an enormous flagstone. Ogma tossed the flagstone right across the courtyard. However, Lugh hurled the flagstone right out of the courtyard, over the towering fortress wall. Finally, the best storytellers told tales of the adventures of heroes. Each one held their audience rapt, eager for more. When Lugh's turn came, he played sweet harp music and sang beautiful melodies with such stirring words that energy and hope pulsed through the people in a way that they had never experienced before. The amazed crowd agreed that Lugh truly was the master of masters. At last, Lugh was led to meet King Nuada himself. "Honour us by telling us who you are," the king asked. "My name is Lugh," the hero declared. "I am of the people of Dana. I was brought up by the fairies and instructed in the ways of magic. My boat is called a wave sweeper. It knows my mind and goes wherever I wish it, swifter than the wind. My sword is named the Answerer. It cuts its way through iron of any thickness. I offer myself at your service." At that moment, a commotion at the entrance to the throne room disturbed them. Lugh span around to see a rough band of giant Fomorian thugs striding in. "You owe us taxes," their leader snarled, spitting on the king. "Fetch them now, or we will slay your people one by one." Lugh was outraged. "How dare you talk to the great King Nuada like this, and in his own throne room," he roared. The Fomorians didn't utter a sound. All except one of them had their throats slit by Lugh. He had drawn the Answerer and slashed them too quickly for anyone to see. The heads of the giants crashed to the floor, followed shortly after by their collapsed bodies. The remaining Fomorians stood aghast, trembling in shock. "Begone, back to that abomination Barlaw," Lugh bellowed. "Tell him that the next head to fall will be his own." With that, the thug sped from the throne room, dodging the kicks and blows that rained down on him from the cheering people of Dana. The triumphant King Nuada wasted no time in making Lugh head of the war council. Lugh prepared the warriors for battle, while he himself rode into the west to ask the fairies for help. Meanwhile, as Lugh and the king expected, the furious Bala summoned his own wicked forces and headed for Ireland. The day soon came when a great war shook the earth of Ireland. The Fomorian giants set up all their strength against the valorous people of Dana. Rivers of blood flowed through the land, and bodies piled high on the battlefield. But the Irish chiefs held their own, protected by the powerful magic of the fairies. When Barlaw gave the command for his evil eye to be opened, Lugh was ready. He loaded the slingshot with a stone and fired it straight into the giant's eye. Hitting its target with such force, the stone blasted Barlow's eye right through the back of his enormous head. It span through the air, killing every giant it passed over. By the time dusk fell, victory belonged to King Nuada. Ireland was saved, and the people sing of the hero Lugh to this very day.